Hey guys, this is Abhishek from GadgetsNews.com, and today we are going to do a quick hands-on comparison between these two devices. We have the Gionee S5.1, which is a very thin phone. It comes from Gionee and it is the thinnest phone from Gionee, whereas we have the thinnest phone in the world, which is the Vivo X5 Max, and this device definitely is a very good device in terms of the overall hardware because it has a Snapdragon chipset inside, whereas this one is again MediaTek. The overall form factor of these two phones is kind of different. This is kind of a bigger phone to hold in one hand, but again, even when this is a bigger display phone, the kind of form factor you get on this phone is good enough. You have 130 gram in terms of the weight, whereas this is around 100 gram. So we are going to compare these two phones on the basis of build quality, on the basis of thickness. Thickness is again slimmer over here as compared to this one. We are also going to compare these two phones on the basis of camera. We are going to compare these phones on the basis of the front camera quality and the overall profile and the form factor. The device, in terms of the price, this one is approximately 20,000 rupees in terms of the price, whereas this one is 32,000, which is definitely a high price, but it comes with 4G connectivity, and again this 4G connectivity will work in India both on TD-LTE as well as on FDD-LTE. So it has a full 4G support, whereas this device does not have 4G support. So as you can see on the edges, you can easily notice the difference that the Gionee S5.1 is definitely a thicker device as compared to the X5 Max from Vivo, and definitely it has a pretty good build quality as well as compared to this one, which has glass at the back, whereas this device is using metal at the back, and it is a combination of aluminum and magnesium, and it is an alloy which they have used. On the edges as well, they have used a very thin metallic frame, which is again made up of magnesium and aluminum alloy. So in terms of build quality, this device is definitely better. In terms of hardware as well, this device is better because you have a Snapdragon 6.5 chipset on this device, which is the latest chipset, and it will support 4G as well. However, this one is again running on the MediaTek chipset, which does not support 4G. So in terms of comparison, in terms of hardware specs, definitely this device is high in terms of the price, but this is offering a much better hardware as compared to the Gionee S5.1 which we have with us. So comparing these two phones in terms of the overall form factor and the kind of weight you can experience, this device is definitely very light, approximately 100 gram it is, but it is having a 4.8-inch display, which is definitely smaller as compared to the Vivo X5 Max, which gives you a 5.5-inch display, and again this is a pretty vivid display. The display clarity on both of these phones is good. You can see the display from almost any angle on both of these phones, but viewing angles are definitely better on the X5 Max. Again, this device is kind of heavier at 130 gram, but even when this device has a 5.5-inch display, this is the lightest 5.5-inch device which I have seen because of the slimness and the kind of materials which they have used on this phone. This phone becomes fairly light and very much close to the weight of the Gionee S5.1. This is again 100 gram, this is 130 gram, but it has a bigger display, much bigger display, better viewing angles, better camera, and a better form factor overall, and the build quality is definitely better on the X5 Max as compared to the Gionee S5.1. So here we have the two images which we have captured from the rear camera on the Gionee S5.1. This is how the image look like. As you can see, this looks decent, but again if you take a look over this image, you can see great amount of clarity captured from the rear camera, which is a 13 megapixel camera which we have on the Vivo X5 Max. Again, the text is very clear over here, whereas the text is kind of pixelated. It is kind of not very clear text over here, but it is very nicely captured over here. In terms of colors and brightness as well, this is a better image as compared to the Gionee S5.1, from which the rear camera has taken a decent image, but not that good image which has been taken on the Vivo X5 Max, which is definitely having a better camera at the backside. And when we talk about the front, let me just take a look over the front camera on the Gionee S5.1, and we will take a look over the front camera on the Vivo X5 Max, and we can toggle to the front camera over here on both of these two phones. As you can see, this is how the clarity will be, and you can easily notice the difference. And if I take a photo right now from this device as well as from this device, you can see the photo clarity is again better over here on the Gionee, not on the Gionee but on the Vivo X5 Max. The clarity is definitely better as compared to the clarity which you will get on the front camera on the Gionee S5.1. So again, this is better, and I can take the photo again to basically show you the clarity again. I think the device was shaken a bit. Let me just take a photo in stable scenario. So we have taken both of these photos and I can show you both of them one by one. So as you can see, if you actually zoom in, you will see a lot of grains in this particular photo as compared to this one, which shows a lot of clarity, and the color protection is definitely far better over here on the X5 Max as far as the front camera is concerned as compared to the front camera quality of the Gionee S5.1. You can easily notice the difference over here, which is the case. So the front camera and the rear camera both are better on the X5 Max, the Vivo X5 Max, as compared to the Gionee S5.1, which is again a kind of a compromise both on the rear camera as well as on the front camera. So one more thing which we would like to highlight as far as the differences in between these two, this device is definitely heavy as compared to this device, but again you have a bigger display on this one, whereas we have a 4.8 inch display on the Gionee S5.1. We are getting a 5 inch display over here on the X5 Max from Vivo. Okay, 5.5. Okay.